you did the BET verse for the rap cipher, and in it, you covered a lot of content that was relevant to the world we live in today that some folks want to sweep under the rug, and this is my own personal opinion. Conversations we have every day on Shade 45 on Sway in the Morning, we talk about, the injustice, policies, prejudice. We talk about discrimination, all of these different things, whether or not we're in the middle of a race war that is trying to be perpetrated by people in power. Not a war in the sense where people are going to pick up guns and shoot at, well, maybe, shit.
Right.
But in terms of psychologically, the whole nine. So when you did that verse on the BET cipher, what I thought why it was necessary, King Crooked had a song called I Can't Breathe, where he talks about, man, we can't just be the only ones saying this.
White rappers shouldn't stay quiet.
White rappers shouldn't stay quiet.
I can't tell you how hard that line hit me. It was to the point where I'm like, this is how strong I feel about something. I gotta put it in the right words, And I saw shit where it was like, oh, these are not new subjects, they're new to Eminem, and that kind of shit.
How did you respond to that reaction? You got backlash for that. Especially when you
I got backlash for the Trump cipher, and it is what it is. At least when this shit is all said and done, maybe I can just be on the right side of history. But you got people dissecting the bars and going, oh, this shit is trash, it's not even that good, and that's not what it's about. You're missing the whole point. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say this also to my fan base who might have voted for him. A lot of people in my fan base probably did. And at the time I did the cipher, I realized after it was all said and done that maybe I should have just attacked him.
When you said you drew that line in the sand, maybe you should have not done that. You should have reworded it and showed empathy towards.
Well, that's what I realized after I was done. That's kind of how I felt, because it's like, okay, this is backfiring on me, and I don't care. I don't give a fuck if that's what happened and hurt my sales. I don't care about that.
Yeah. I
care about the message I'm trying to convey.
Why you felt a need to stand up, though? What was that for you as Marshall? What made you
decide? Because I was just watching it every single day. I watch a lot of news, right?
Yeah.
The thing that pissed me off the most, that really set me off when I started going crazy with the pen, because I'm like, the Kaepernick thing. And when that shit happened and how he kept changing the narrative and kept changing the narrative, you fucking, I don't want to get into this whole Trump thing anymore, but.
Well, you mentioned at the end of The Ringer, Agent Orange sending a Secret Service to your house. Did the Secret Service really come to your house after that?
They came to my studio, yeah.
Okay.
And they were just basically asking me questions about my lyrics to see what the intent was behind them, and if I was making a actual threat or just expressing myself, So
that really happened. Wow, that's crazy. Right now, what we're seeing too, because Colin Kaepernick was named the face of Nike's 30th anniversary of Just Do It. You saw that, right? And then you got a whole slew of people that are now burning Nike shoes and Nike
I saw that.
products.
It's infuriating.
Yeah, what do you think?
Infuriating.
Yeah.
Like, really? Nike supports people who kneel for the anthem. At this fucking point, come on. Seriously? Seriously? You gotta be a fucking moron to think that that's just what it's about and it's that fucking cut and dry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a meaning behind this shit and there's real pain behind this shit. And you're burning a fucking pair of shoes? When you go about your fucking day and you got your job and you're thinking about all this other shit, that's what really fucking bothers you? People ain't gonna stop watching football. They're just not.
Yeah.
Football to me is the best sport there is. And what draws you to the game should not be, if that's how you feel about your country and you feel like you should stand for the anthem, stand for the anthem. That's fine. But you also need to realize that this is America and people have died for these rights to be able to protest and to be able to take a knee. Stop making it fucking personal about yourself. You have nothing to do with this.
I agree.
So as you guys just saw there, Eminem just absolutely went in on Trump supporters. Of course, Eminem did the BET cipher, which was essentially basically dissing Donald Trump. That was sort of the whole purpose of it. And at the time, I thought it was very good, and I think a lot of people did as well. Of course, things like that are going to be pretty polarizing, just because of the front nature of it being a polarizing issue about whether or not you support Trump and where you kind of fall on. But it's very clear that Eminem does not like Donald Trump, that he thinks he fucking sucks as president and he doesn't support him. And essentially what he did is he sort of gave his he gave his fans, who, as he said in the interview that you just saw, he essentially gave his fans this ultimatum of, if you're gonna be my fan, like don't consider yourself like my fan or like an accepted fan, if you're someone who voted for or supported Trump. And what Eminem said, that he thinks that a lot of people in his fan base voted for Trump. I don't know if that's particularly true, honestly. I'd be surprised if that were actually the case, but obviously I don't really know. But I think he might be highballing it a bit. But he did the BET cipher, just absolutely going at him. But he talks about the Kaepernick kneeling thing there as well. You can just tell the frustration that Eminem gets when looking at different stuff like this. And the BET cipher was definitely like a pop off for him for sure. And you can just tell that he really had a lot of shit built up on that, on that front. And he's obviously, on the side of Colin Kaepernick. He said right there that the Kaepernick issue really, really, really pissed him off, because it's something that, he thinks is, and it is it's an issue that's being misconstrued. But the problem is that there's already been enough time elapsed where, if you're not somebody who's going to accept and actually, fully soak in and understand that people who are kneeling during the national anthem in protest of police brutality are not kneeling for the national while the national anthem is playing and for the flag, because they hate the United States or because they hate veterans. Of course, Colin Kaepernick, one of the things that he was actually protesting was the poor treatment of veterans. Which is ironic on the part of people who are who are saying that, oh, he's disrespecting veterans and different stuff like that. And also he talked to, I believe it was a Green Beret, who told him to, because originally he was actually sitting for the national anthem. He wasn't taking a knee. And he actually told him, someone who's an actual veteran, and I think he's in the special forces, which is serious stuff. So he's not just, a low guy. He's a serious guy who's really up there. And he told him, instead of sitting, he said, take a knee instead, because he thought that was better. And obviously, there's not really an excuse anymore for this debate to really continue going on, because anybody who has, at this point in time, because the debate has raged on for like 2 years now. This started, during 2016, I believe it was. Maybe it was 2015. No, I think it was 2016. But it's been going on for like 2 years now. So if you're somebody who's on that side and you have not yet realized or understood that the reason that they're taking a knee is not because they're disrespecting veterans, the armed forces, or the United States in any way, shape, or form, but instead are protesting issues of police brutality. I mean, we keep consistently seeing different instances of this happening. Whether it be, people like Eric Garner or Trayvon Martin, and just so many different cases that happen. I think for me personally, seeing the Eric Garner video was definitely the worst one that I've seen. And we just keep seeing different cases of this happening. I've done multiple videos on different cases. There was the former NFL player who was getting beat up and choked out by the cops for no reason. There was the dude there were multiple people who got kicked in the head. And the issue about this is that really we know more about this now because we have camera phones. where cameras are much more, much easier to access. So we have more access to cameras to actually be able to record it. Otherwise, a lot of this would be going under the table. But it's very clear that Eminem is very, very anti-Trump. He's very liberal, very left-leaning, and that's not too exciting for a lot of conservatives. Although I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Eminem supported John Kerry back in '04. So his liberalism is definitely most, well documented. But this interview with Sway is pretty darn good. I've seen all 3 parts. Very solid stuff, and I hope they come out with more parts as well. And I think they will, because the way they seem to be doing it is sort of dragging it with 10 to 15 minute clips, and I'm gonna assume that it went on for probably like an hour.